I'm mad when I say that I believe I lived another life.
Another life a long, long time ago, back in the Holy Roman Empire. That I lived as the Emperor Toucas Faceous. And together with my bride, Greaseman, we had an idyllic lifestyle. Except for our son, man. Our son was a disappointment to me because he was growing up spindly and wimpy. My son, Faceous, I had envisioned as leading my centurions into battle. My head centurion, Toucas, told me he was a hopeless case. All my other assistants had proud sons. Faceous was made very proud by his son, Toucas. But I always felt like I'd been shortchanged. Even Toucas had a bold son, Testicles. Sons that made their fathers proud. And who did I have? Faceous. I vowed that he would learn the art of battling with a broadsword. I told him that if he learned, I would give him his choice of wenches. His ears perked up. I said, Faceous, if you make me proud, I will take you into my harem. Choose Fallopia if you want. Slutica if you'd like something a tad zesty. You may have Horsebaggius, Spoontangius, Menopausius, Hymenius, Frigidicles, Syphiliticus, Gonorius, Promiscutia. They can all be yours. If you learn battling with the broadsword. He said, could I have endometria? I said, yes. Yes, you could have endometria if that's what you want. I'll even throw in genitalia if you'd like. But you must learn the battle. Spartacus, come in here. And so Spartacus, who was a very imposing fellow, walked into the room with his assistants, Hemorrhoidicles and Suppositorius. I said, do what you can. He said, as you wish, your incontinence. But he doesn't look like a likely candidate to wield the broadsword. I said, do not contradict me. He said, I'm sorry, your flatulence. I said, teach him. And sure enough, Spartacus said, all right, let's give him an easy opponent to start with. Pubicles, pick up a sword. And so I watched as Pubicles and my son Faceous faced each other. He said, Circumcision, you run the clock. We'll give them 60 seconds. Ejaculus will be the judge. Orgasmocles, you watch as an impartial observer. And so they circled each other, both weighing each other. We had some spectators. Crotch Rodius was saying, come on, Faceous, make your father proud. Gagged me with a spoonius, had his finger in his nose buried to the second knuckle. I said, come on, give it to him. And so they circled each other. I watched with some trepidation as my poor, spindly little son tried desperately to wield the broadsword. But no, he was humiliating me. Humiliating me. I said, even the old geezer Prostadius can do better than you. Well, I guess I shouldn't have shouted anything, because Faceous turned his head to look at me. And when he did, his opponent seized the opportunity to run him through the skull with the sword and enter the side of his head. And saw daylight at the other end. My son dropped to his knees, a questioning look on his face. Then his eyes rolled up at his head, and he crashed to the floor. Disgustedly, I got up. That was my son. That's humiliating. Oh. Well, I just hope my other son, Faceous, comes out a little bit better. I left my chambers. And I walked outside just as my wife, Sleazebagius, was returning from a trip to town. She said, how's our son doing anyway with his broadsword lessons? I said, nah. You know, Faceous, in one ear and out the other.